Hi guys. Am I in frame? I'm gonna assume so. We're back here again. They should be paying me. Yeah, hi, I'm back here again. So, what was it? Like a few weeks ago, I came back here I graduated from here, if you guys didn't know that, in 2019. And then a few weeks ago, I finished up a painting class that I did here. That was like an 8-week one that I did. I would come here in the evenings once a week. But yeah, I have a bunch of grant money that I applied for to take courses and like do artist development type stuff. So yeah, I'm back here again and I'm taking a figure drawing class. So this one is like a week-long kind of condensed thing. So I'll be here every day of the week just working on figure drawing. I think it's going to be a lot of like live model drawing sessions and stuff like that with like charcoal and stuff. Bringing this out again. I haven't used this since first year. So I have like a giant pad of like newsprint and we're using charcoal and stuff like that. So yeah, should be really fun. It's been a while since I've done live figure drawing, especially nude. I think it's all going to be nude. So I don't know how, involved the footage will be because I, would assume that it's not cool to film in there. So yeah, we're back. Welcome to this video. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully we learn lots. And yeah, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited for the week. It's going to be fun. So let's do it. Hi. So, holy moly, just sitting out here letting my car air out. Got pretty hot sitting out here all day. Yeah, first class finished. I'm fucking stoked. This is awesome. I had so much fun. I'll show you guys what I drew, all of the figure drawings that I stuff. Sorry, I'm tired. I'll show you guys all of the figure drawings that I did today, tomorrow morning, because I'll be back here in the morning for our day 2. Like I mentioned earlier, this will be going on until Friday. Today's Monday. Because yeah, we're going to start the class with a critique, and luckily it sounds like the beginning half of each class will be without the model, and then the model will come in at the end. So like you guys saw with like the little skeleton exercise at the beginning, I can film myself while I'm doing that. It's just the second half that, obviously no phones. So yeah, I'm stoked. This is a lot of fun. It's been a really long time since I've, used charcoal and did the whole like gesture figure stuff, and I've missed it. Our teacher is fucking sick as fuck. He said he lives in Mexico City and he just comes back for the summer to teach here. And yeah, super passionate, super, artsy, teaching us a lot. I'm learning a lot already. I feel I'm so happy. This is sick. I'm so happy. Yeah. So what an experience. I'm excited to see what the rest of the week will bring. Yay! I feel like my brain is just so drained right now from, all of the drawing that we just did. Yeah, I'll try and do a little bit more speaking because we get like a lunch break time or whatever in the middle of the day. So we'll try and like talk to you guys a little bit then when I still have gas in the tank, because obviously right now is a little tough for me. So yeah, gonna listen to some Brat. Okay, we're keeping Brat Summer going for a second year, and drive home and then eat some food and then do it all again tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Alrighty. Hey guys, welcome to day 2. We're here in studio. Yeah, everybody just went for lunch, so I just came back in here to talk to you guys for a little bit. Yeah, this morning, for the first half of class, we just kind of took a look at our drawings that we did yesterday. We all kind of selected a few. And then went through them, talked about them, did a little baby critique or whatever. And then, yeah, we talked a lot about artists that inspired us and stuff like that. The original plan was to go to the school's library. Hi, sorry. And take out some books based on who inspired us and things like that. But the library was closed. They're actually closed this month to do inventory. But I happened to bring some books from home. I'm probably super far away on camera right now. I brought some books from home just because I had them. So I have this one David Hockney book. I just found this at a secondhand bookshop. I think I have heard of David Hockney before this because he's kind of huge, but I never really explored much. So great artist. And then we were told to specifically think of figurative artists. So of course I have Kim Jung-gi, R.I.P., the GOAT, and then of course Viktor Kalbachev, one of my favorites. So yeah, we just spent the morning talking about them, everyone sharing their inspirations and stuff. And then yes, this afternoon in about 45 minutes, another model will come in, a different model from yesterday. And we'll spend the afternoon drawing, doing the same kind of 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute poses. Yeah, so let me show you guys what I did yesterday. I got a bit of B-roll earlier, but yeah, so these ones here are 1 minute. So we started off doing super quick, super gestural. This was the model that came yesterday. These ones are also 1 minute, but with a bit of a different technique, more kind of filling out the mass and defining the shapes and stuff like that. And then these ones are 2 minute. So yeah, we were told specifically to build out the skeleton underneath. So that's a bit of the line work and stuff, the skeletal base stuff that's underneath that I did just with a graphite stick, and then filled out the mass with charcoal afterwards. And then this one was a 10-minute pose, so that was the last one, finishing out the class. Yeah, yesterday was really fun. This morning when I was journaling or whatever, I was just you know, reflecting on how cool this is and how grateful I am and how much I love being alive and how much I love art. But yeah, so let me show you the classroom while I have it by myself. Today I think we're using these mirrors. So we're gonna be able to, so the model goes there, and we all kind of sit around with our easels. We just use these like newsprint pads or whatever. And then these are my little materials, a bunch of different kinds of charcoal and stuff like that. Our little skeleton guy reference. Yeah, so I think today we're gonna set these mirrors up just so that we can place them around the model and then have 3 different angles that we can look at and draw from. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, this is it. It's really cool being in here. When I was in school, we never really came over to this side of the building. This was like the drawing side. I was usually on a different floor for like the visual communications design program or school or whatever. So it's really cool being in here, and I'm excited for this afternoon. Like I said, unfortunately, I can't film obviously when the model is in here, but I'll definitely show you guys my work afterwards, and then we can talk about it later. So yeah, having lots of fun. It's only day 2, and I'm excited for the rest of the week. So, okay, talk to you later. I'm gonna go eat lunch now. Bye-bye. Okay, hey, how's it going? Just finished up class, sitting outside. Damn it. All right. Yeah, sitting outside. I brought my laptop with me just because I have some work stuff to do. And I figured I'd do it here before going home because it's like peak rush hour right now. So yeah, gonna chill here for a little bit. But yeah, today there were some hiccups. Like I said earlier, the library was closed, so like the morning plan or whatever. Did I say that? That the plan was to go to the library, get some books out, and then talk about it. Yeah, so the library was closed. We, still talked about artists and stuff, but mostly using like Google. And then the afternoon was supposed to be that the model came at 1 after lunch. But I think there was like some scheduling HR mess up or something, so our model didn't show up until like halfway through the session. So it was a shorter figure. Sorry, there's like construction going on across the street and it's like extremely loud. I'm sorry if you can hear that. Yeah, so the session was shorter than yesterday's. It was still good, we worked with a different model today, and you guys will see what the drawings look like. I didn't take any photos before I left because we were all trying to rush out of there, but you'll see tomorrow. And yeah, it was I feel like with like having to wait, right? Like the model maybe not like showing on the original model not showing up, and then having to figure out a replacement, and then just kind of being like, are we gonna draw, whatever. Maybe like it gave me extra time to like get into my head, so once we did start figure drawing, I felt a little more rusty, or like I felt like I don't know, there was a lot riding on doing these figure drawings with the limited time that we had, if that makes sense, because there was less time. And also I noticed, because yesterday's model was a little more like full-bodied and like curvy, and there was a lot of like fun forms to kind of like build and play with. Today's model was more like petite and lean, more like musculature that would show through, and so I found it was like it was an interesting challenge, I guess, going from one model body type to another. It's kind of funny. I found myself like making the drawings themselves smaller because her body is smaller. It was harder for me to like fill the page. Yeah, so just little things like that. It's interesting, like, being able to like get to observe different body types, especially so close together, like today and then yesterday. and the differences between those. So yeah, those are my thoughts for today. It was lovely. It's fun. You know, we have such a small class size. It's only 3 of us now. There were 4. One of them dropped out, or like had a cancellation or whatever. So yeah, there's only 3 of us in class. So it's like very intimate, very, you know, we all get lots of space and lots of attention and you know, feedback from the teacher individually. So I'm really grateful for that. It feels, you know, exclusive. It feels special. So yeah, that was today. I will update you guys tomorrow, and we'll continue on with this. I'm gonna work. So, bye-bye.
Morning. Years, he was an abstract expressionist artist, but he talked about Lucy and Freud, and he said taking different positions, but she's drawing one on top of each other. So we get the feeling of movement, of motion, of, you know, the relationship between these 2 people, 3 people, 4 people.
I'm back.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
I would like some Conte
Sure.
and then some more charcoal.
Yep.
The Conte comes in different colors, right?
Yes. Yeah. We can do a couple of them come in individuals, or there's sets of them as well.
Okay. Can I see the set?
Yeah.
See the different colors.
Check out just the.
Ooh! Wow, nice. What's my hair doing? I don't fucking know. This is my first time wearing my hair curly. My hair, these are my natural curls. They're a little bit quazy because I don't entirely know how to take care of them. Excuse the, I'm using my front camera right now because you guys are mounted on my little car mount. Yeah, I don't fucking know what to do with this, you know? I got some curl cream, and like my hair gets super curly in humidity, but where I live is very dry. So I don't know, I thought like maybe I would try to figure it out and wear it curly for the first time, but I'm just kind of not used to it. And I feel like curly hair is a little bit hard to manage, I guess in general, but especially if you have short hair, it's harder to know what to do with it. But I am growing my hair out for the next few months, so I thought, you know, it would be worth it to attempt a little bit. But yes, hello, we just finished class day 3, and I'm gonna drive home. Trying to get home quick because I have a softball game tonight and I gotta eat before. But yeah, I'm getting echoes. Class today was good. Speed bumps. We basically took a look at, we chose a couple artists from, you know, the bunch that we talked about yesterday, and then kind of studied them and tried to kind of replicate their techniques or like their style in figure drawing. And I brought paints today. Again, you guys will see in the morning what I did today. But yeah, I kind of didn't know really what to expect. I just brought paint that like I already had mixed from previous projects that I was just saving in a palette. And yeah, the artist that I was trying to replicate was 𝐦�𦂂𦂂𦂂 and Freud. What's his first name? Lucius Freud or something like that? Sigmund Freud's grandson. So yeah, both of them I used a bit of paint plus like some charcoal and whatever else. And it was interesting, you know, trying to play with different mediums and stuff like that. Other than charcoal, like I feel like charcoal is super intuitive, at least because like that's how I learned how to figure draw originally, like in school and stuff, like live figure drawing. You can get a lot of different like varying, oh Jesus Christ, what am I doing? Sorry, I go non-verbal when I'm like trying to concentrate and drive. You can get a lot of varying mark making with charcoal and Conte and stuff like that. Like skinny detail lines to larger kind of sweeping block-ins, which is nice. So yeah, with paint, like I didn't really know what to expect. But it went pretty well. Like I feel like I have this idea of paint that it's like super difficult for me, super hard for me to grasp because it's not what I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with the things that I have control over, which is, you know, dry medium, pencil, charcoal, stuff like that. But the more that I paint, like with my acrylic painting class, and the more that I, you know, actually just like sit down and fucking try something, the more I realize like, oh, okay, so this is just like all in my head, you know. I'm making this out to be much more complicated and much more scary than it actually is. And I feel like that's true with anything, you know. You can kind of make up excuses for yourself in your head about why you can't do something, and then that just keeps you not doing it. But then if you actually like build up the courage to try or whatever, you can find out pretty quickly. Like obviously if people do it, why can't you? You know, that's kind of what I'm realizing for myself. So it's exciting. It's exciting to be discovering things like that and having kind of revelations like that. So I'm looking forward to taking what I learn in this class and like these experiences and you know, applying them to hopefully my ongoing body of work moving forward. So yeah, thank you. That's all I really have to say. I'm going to stop talking to you and instead put on Brat again because I'm just vibing with that. So last summer, Brat was like my on repeat fucking album, right? Like same as everybody else. But then since then, like, I don't know, like fall, winter, spring, I haven't really been feeling like listening to it. But now suddenly it's summer and I'm like, I just want to listen to fucking Brat. I just want to, you know, bump that 365 Party Girl, you know? So, yeah. Okay, bye-bye. I will talk to you guys tomorrow for day 4, our next class. Okay, bye. Hello. Hello. Hello, good morning. It's our last day. It's day 5. It's the Friday of the week. Yeah, and it's our last day of class. Which, like, holy shit, what a experience. I was reflecting a little bit this morning, just in my journal. I've been doing that every morning, of this week, just like kind of reflecting on the class so far and, you know, what I'm going to do today. And so, yeah, today, sorry about yesterday. Yesterday was kind of crazy busy, and, you know, we had a model basically the whole day, so I couldn't really pull my camera out. But, yeah, today, we were told that we're going to have a model for the first section of class and the second section of class, but she's going to be here for 3 hours total, and she's just going to hold one pose. So basically we can do whatever we want. We could do one big drawing, or we can do multiple little drawings at different angles and then work our way up to longer poses or whatever, longer drawings. So yeah, that's kind of exciting. I think she's supposed to be here for 2 hours in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon, with a lunch break in the middle. So I think during the 2 hours in the morning, I'm going to focus on, you know, learning the pose, doing lots of little sketches and little drawings of her in whatever pose she's in, at different angles pretty quick. And then maybe like explore some applications with, like, I don't know, I brought some inks today, play with that a little bit. And then for the afternoon session, when we have an hour, I'm thinking that could be my opportunity to try and do 1 hour-long drawing, hour-long pose with everything that I learned in the morning. So that's the plan. And then, yeah, we're finishing the, like, drawing section at 2, and then we have 2 hours until the end of class. So I suppose, and I think that will be kind of to, like, reflect on everything we learned, take a look at all of our drawings and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'll make sure to get lots of videos of everything that I did today for the last day. But yeah, more on that later. I will, you know, we'll do this final class and I'll draw my little drawings or whatever, and, talk about the whole experience, and come back with my final reflections. But yeah, what a week it's been. I'm so grateful. It's been great. Yeah, okay, so let's go to class then. Got 10 minutes.
It was during the 80s. It was ranked #1 in North America for facilities. And #3. This critique, I'd like to format by having the artist speak first about what their experience was throughout the
I devised a simple flying harness whereby myself, or someone who might fit the harness willingly,
Hello! Oh my god! We're done! Ah! That was really lovely. What a perfect way to end. Yeah, so today, like I said earlier, we, the plan was to be, oh, broken nail, kind of. Plan was to, you know, do a lot of prep and then have just like a very long period where we can take as long as we want to do a figure drawing. And yeah, so I went down to the bookstore, I got a nice sheet of paper and everything. I set up, you know, I did some like studies of a couple different angles, figured out some proportions and stuff like that, and then I was like, okay. I pulled out my nice paper, and then I like laid down some ink blots first. I practiced doing the ink shit, and then I laid it down on the nice paper, and then I got going on the nice one, and it was just a struggle the whole way through. And it's funny how that goes, you know, like in my brain, I'm like, this is the nice paper, this is my 2-hour figure drawing, this is, you know, there's a lot writing on this, this is what, you know, this should be my best piece of the whole week because it's the last one and it's the longest one, and of course that's not what happened. You know, I laid down some marks and it was all like I was like fighting with myself, you know. Yeah, it just got to a point where I was like, I was gonna keep, you know, trying to etch away at it for the rest of the session, but Mark, the professor, you know, he was like, maybe, you know, put this down, see if you want to come back to it later, but, you know, try and start another one. I was like, okay, you're probably fucking right. So I did. I started my next one, and I did it in like fucking, I don't know, 10 minutes based on like one of my practice blotches, and I liked it better. I feel like it was stronger because, you know, that's how it works, you know? It's not always the pieces that you mentally tell yourself need to be the best that end up being the best. It's like the sketches on like a fucking piece of napkin or whatever that end up turning out really good. And yeah, so a lot of reflections from today and the class overall. I feel like I'm going to continue to kind of ruminate on a bunch of this stuff and think about what I learned and how I want to take this into the rest of my practice moving forward. And yeah, I'm leaving very happy and grateful, and excited for what's next. So yeah, I will talk to you guys a little later with a little bit more of a wrap up, and maybe we'll go through some of the pieces that I made and talk about them, and yeah, we're all done. I'm gonna go home and eat some food. Maybe drink a nice little beer. I don't know. Yeah, it's Friday. Okay, talk to you guys in a bit. Okay. Hey, I'm back home now with my my thingy full of thingies, and sorry for the little inconsistency with the camera quality just now, or like slight inconsistency in the coloring. I just switched to my camera because this one has a flip around screen so I can see myself as I'm showing you guys my drawings. Okay, yeah, so I know I showed you, I took little clips and whatever throughout the week of some of the drawings that I did, but yeah, as I was packing them up today, we pasted them all up on the wall, and then, we had to take everything down. As I was packing it all up, it was like, oh wow, we did all of that. So I'll kind of go through some of them, some of my favorites. Oh, okay. Sorry, my mom eczema just acted up. And maybe reminisce a little bit. Okay, so these ones were the first day. Okay, so this one is of the first model that we had. I feel like, yeah, so all the ones that I'm showing are the ones that were kind of pasted up on the wall, so I selected them. And yeah, I feel like my initial drawings and my initial like gestures and stuff like that were very, kind of intuitive, and what I would do if I was, just figure drawing without instruction or anything like that. But then Mark started to give us some little pointers and some instruction and stuff like that. So for these ones, I start to like kind of, etch out like the edges of her and stuff. And there's some nice stuff going on in here. And I'm just basically like focusing on building out mass and like drawing out like circles and whatever. So yeah, those are nice. This is all with charcoal. And then this one, I think I did a combination of like building out the skeleton. Like this one, you can see pretty clearly the like skeleton and the structure underneath, and then doing that kind of like mass building on top. I really like this one. It is very reminiscent of like my style and my kind of thing that I would draw. And yeah, just really fun forms. And yeah, this model was great to work with. Love a good full-bodied figure. And then this one was the last one of the day. It was just a 10-minute pose. I found that like with the figure drawing stuff, usually like when you draw somebody, you start with the head, but something about, I think one of the instructions that our prof gave was, to start at the pelvis or start at the middle of the page, just so that, if you start here, then you know exactly like how much space you have to build out, rather than if you start here and then you end up making the body like too short or too long so it falls off the page or whatever. But yeah, I was finding that like I was so focused on the body that I often left the head for very last. And something that I kept doing that, I know this about myself, and I've known this about myself. I tend to make, like when I'm drawing a full figure, I tend to make the head too small. And I feel like I've talked about this before. It's kind of because, growing up, I learned how to draw from anime, right? That was what I consumed. That's what I like to draw. Like my earliest memories of making and drawing is like drawing Sailor Moon. So yeah, doing all of that and that kind of being my basis of how I learned to draw, I noticed that my heads were too big, right? It was kind of like the anime style. And then moving into art school, that was kind of an insecurity of mine, right? Because, you know, through junior high and whatever, art teachers tend to not like anime, or like, you know, I'm sure like anybody who grew up drawing anime has heard the statement of like, oh, anime is not real art, whatever. And so I feel like I kind of took that into when I went to art college, and since then have kind of developed a style specifically trying to veer away from the anime style, and therefore my heads are very small, too small now. So yeah, that was something that I like kept doing. And then yeah, on the second day, there was some like model, you know, booking miscommunications or something. So at the beginning, we just drew. We just like had a setup in the room of like a bunch of different props and mirrors and stuff like that. And so we drew the setting and like our reflections in the mirror, which is kind of cool, which gives me an idea, like all of these different ways of drawing and like figure drawing and, you know, going to school every day and just like doing quick gestures and stuff like that. It really gives me a lot of ideas in terms of like, you know, how I can move forward in my own art practice of like, maybe I should get like a mirror somewhere that like, you know, when I start my day or whatever I'm going to work on, I sit and I do like a self-portrait or a self-figure draw or pull out like some reference and do something quick just to, you know, practice and just like get myself like loosey-goosey and, you know, I don't know. Just start my day with art, because I feel like too often, especially if I'm doing like design work or illustration project that is like solely on my iPad, it's hard to connect with like the intuitive like artiness that is within me, that like when I am doing this stuff, it feels really good and it like comes out and I don't know, it just feels really good to take paper and like charcoal and just fucking make marks and not be super exact and not be super polished and, you know, super tight and everything, which is what my paid work, what my like commercial illustration kind of tends to be, mostly because that's what I've always been comfortable with. So of course I've developed that style. And so my clients have seen that style from me and kind of, you know, there's, you know, been built this expectation of refinement and cleanliness and whatever else. But the older I get, the more I really just love this kind of stuff, you know? The more I have an appreciation for less tight, less, you know, exact, more expressive, more alive, you know what I mean? Okay, and then so this was in the afternoon when our model came. These ones I like a lot, actually. I feel like when I was doing them, I was having a bit of trouble, or like they felt like I was struggling. But it's funny, and this was like a consistent thing throughout the entire class and like all of the models that came. The quick gestures where like sometimes in the moment I was like kind of freaking out and being like, oh, there's no time, you know, this is just like, blah, fucking whatever. I'm just like vomiting out a quick few lines to make a figure. But like, these are the ones that kind of, I feel like have turned out the best and feel really nice looking back at them. And then, yeah, some more of those. All of these are like, I don't know, 1 to 2 minutes, I believe. These are really nice. I really like this top one here. Something about that gesture, it just feels like the movement is really good in there. IMO, I think. And then, yeah, we finished with this 7-minute pose. This was the last one. And yeah, same thing. It was good. Had a bit more time to like describe some more features and limbs and stuff. Yeah, okay. And then, okay, I'm kind of forgetting the sequence of what the fuck happened, but yeah, I don't know if this must have been another day. Yes, right. So the next day we had the same model, right? And I pulled out some paints. So I started to play with, you know, different styles. This is the day that we were looking at like different artists. So I was looking at 𝦂𦂂𦂂𦂂 and Lucian Freud, and kind of like using their styles to influence the kind of quality of mark making and painting. Like I was trying to play with my paints as well. This is like a detail of like her thigh and like her hands. And yeah, it was cool to explore. Like this shit I would never do on my own, right? Like I feel like I have such a comfort zone in like my drawing and my dry media and my digital medium and stuff like that, that like I just you know, that's what I stick to. So it was really cool, you know, having the opportunity. I guess like I can make this opportunity for myself at any point, but like, you know, actually having to sit down with it, being challenged to, you know, pull out different mediums, make less controlled mark making. Like for these ones, 𝦂𦂂𦂂𦂂, our prof had me put a stick of Conte on the end of a chopstick and then use that to draw. So it was like really hard to control, and you could, like all of the lines were super shaky, as you can see, but like it gives it this kind of like, I don't know, like it feels fresh. It's like a interesting effect because of the lack of control. So yeah, this is just some more. Another pose, you know, more explorations with all that stuff. And I was just using leftover paint from my my acrylic painting class that I took a few weeks ago. I just had like a bunch left that were just like mixed colors that I was using for my paintings that I had saved in a little palette. So I wanted to clean that palette out, so I just used up that paint for this class. And then, yeah, so a bit more of the painting. This is like just paint, which is interesting. Like I like this a lot more than I thought I was gonna, like this one in particular. I feel like I have such a mental block around painting. Like I say and I tell myself like, oh, I'm not a painter, I don't know. But then like I pull out my paints and then I can like do something kind of cool, right? So I don't know, if anything, like this week has really showed me that like anything can be done. You just have to like try it and do it, and you can find something good in it. Yeah. Okay, and then so these ones, let me just organize my life down here. These ones are from yesterday. So we had a male model in. Yeah, yesterday I got like no footage of anything because it was just like drawing all day, which was great. But yeah, we were focusing on movement for this day. So it was like, you know, he would take one pose and then we would have like a minute or whatever. And then he would kind of like plant one part of his body. I think this one was maybe his foot or something like that. I think I moved him over at one point, but you know, just like kind of moving around a single point and like making different poses throughout. And it was really interesting. Again, like another cool kind of prompt that like, you know, you could do that shit and like create those prompts for yourself at any point, but it's cool to be in a classroom setting where it's like, okay, do this. And then you do it thinking that like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go. And then it turns out okay. You like surprise yourself. I feel like I surprised myself over and over in this class. This one was really nice. I like this one a lot. Same kind of thing. You know, we were doing the movement thingy, and I started playing with like different application styles for like each figure, each point of movement, just to differentiate them, because I feel like with that last one, you know, things were getting a little bit muddled. So I used, you know, different colors, tried to do less lines, and I really like the effect of that. There really is something there, and it's cool that I have all these drawings now that I can take a look at maybe later on. And this is what's great about sketchbooking as well, being able to experiment and stuff on such like a, you know, it's like newsprint, right? It doesn't really matter if, you know, what you create is bad or good or what you think about it. But just like having these images to come back to and look at later is really cool. And it can like spark something else. An idea for some other project, or, you know, so that's exciting. And then this one, I just switched to graphite because it was a very, obviously, kind of tough pose. It's kind of foreshortened. But yeah, I took my time to like build out the figure and stuff, and I let the medium be something that I am comfortable with, like I said, because the pose was a little difficult. I could have moved and went to like a different point to get like a different angle or whatever, so it wasn't so foreshortened, but I'm glad that I didn't, and I'm glad that I, you know, stayed and tried to do just like practice of getting the figure down, and the, you know, the effect of being far away and this being like foreshortened, and the, yeah, you guys get it. And then this one was probably like one of the last ones that we did. I like this one a lot, because yeah, it kind of focuses on the shadow mostly, and then the figure itself is very like kind of light and minimal, and there's, you know, it doesn't need too much description. And then the shadow just like gives like that really strong base to kind of anchor the composition. Okay, so now on to what we did today. Yeah, so like I talked about earlier, you guys know what was going on, what the whole thingy was. So yeah, these were kind of like my first little studies. She took the pose that she was gonna be sitting in for the next 2.5 hours. And yeah, I just drew her a bunch of times really quick, just trying to get like the line of action down, get like her shape down, figure out, you know, what parts of her to try and emphasize, and like get to know the pose before jumping into a larger piece or whatever. So yeah, this one felt really good. I kind of took note of like how forward she was, where her weight might lay. I did a little study of her from another angle. And then this is the one that didn't really work out. Let me show you, 1 second. Hold that out there. Okay. Yeah, okay, so this is like my piece, okay? And it's fine. I feel like because I don't know. I feel like because I just did it, I'm a little bit like over it, you know? But I don't think it's bad. Like I feel like I was able to get some like cool experimentation and stuff. It's just like I was struggling a lot with the figure, the like accuracy of like where her limbs should go, like the sizing and everything. And yeah, I just, it wasn't vibing really well. But, you know, it doesn't mean that this piece doesn't have merit. It was a necessary step and a necessary exploration to continue on. And so this is the one that, you know, I was told to kind of like put down and let breathe for a little bit. And then I moved on to this one, which was like the splatters and everything underneath are some of my like practice splatters that I did before that one. And yeah, doing this immediately after, I'm like, damn, I like that better. So yeah, I think I was like trying to do too many things at once, you know, all of the pressure of like, oh, this is my last piece. I'm going to spend 2 hours on this, you know. I don't think that's the way that art works, right? It's like, you kind of got to go in without any expectations. You can have a plan for sure, but you know, when things go one way or the other, you can't try to make it fit back in your original plan, because it doesn't want to, you know. Sometimes you just gotta fucking let it be what it wants to be. And I am trying to remind myself of that often, like in a lot of things that I do. It's just a little difficult sometimes to like let go of that control and those like expectations. Yeah, and then I did this one, which is like the same kind of thing. I tried bringing in some blue, and it's fun, you know, it's interesting. There's something there. Not as like refined, or, you know, I feel like at this point maybe I was getting a little bit fatigued as well, and I don't know, like drawing this pose over and over and over and not like exactly nailing it any of the times, I feel. I was just kind of, I don't know, that was kind of starting to drain me a little bit. And then, yeah, for the last like 10 minutes or whatever, I just took my last little experimental splishy splashy and then tried like, okay, so if we ignore this, that's like kind of the splishy splashy of the figure. I was trying to like use very minimal mark making and description to kind of, I don't know, build a figure without building a figure, if that makes sense. I'm kind of playing with that. But yeah, that's basically the gist of this past week. And what a fucking week. Yeah, it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. I don't know what I expected. I definitely didn't expect this. I feel like I went in, because I booked this class, I can't remember if I said this, I booked this class kind of last minute, because with both this class and my acrylic painting class, I got a grant to like an artist development grant or whatever. So I applied to do this acrylic class, and then another class that was supposed to run in the fall, but then I realized like, oh no, I'm gonna miss too much of that because I'm gonna be traveling, so actually I can't take that one. So I emailed them when I heard back, and they told me that I got the grant. I emailed them and said like, oh, like, can I do some sort of substitute or whatever? And they were like, yeah, but it has to be like the same kind of like institution. So I looked and I saw that they did these week-long summer courses, and I was like, okay, great. I was thinking like I would use the extra grant money, the replacement situation, to just do like figure drawing throughout the city, but luckily there was this figure drawing class that, you know, would basically balance out what the other course would be. So yeah, it was kind of like a last minute kind of switch up, but like I feel like I got so much value out of it, and just like being able to, you know, give myself the week. I didn't like fully take it off. I did have to, you know, in the evenings and stuff, I had shit to do or whatever, but for the most part, like this 5 days, this Monday to Friday, where like I'm able to, I go to school every morning, we do this concentrated thing, we're kind of like in a fucking lockdown room, we're focused, and we have a goal, and we're making art, and we're just like drawing and experimenting, and you know, I got to be around other creatives, and our prof is like super inspiring, and he's just like all about art and super passionate and knows so much, right? So just being able to be around that kind of environment for like a focused amount of time was so cool. And I feel like that's, you know, what makes it for me, you know, it's the learning and the growing, and I'm leaving feeling very like inspired and like invigorated and, you know, happy through the creative flame inside, you know? So, yeah, that's it. That was this week. That was the course. And that is this video. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. I know it must have been like very, I don't even know how this is gonna turn out because I gotta edit it together. I don't even know what kind of footage I got. But yeah, highly recommend if you're an artist finding some live figure drawing that's local to you. It is something that our prof said at the beginning of class. It's like doing life drawing and doing figure drawing, live figure drawing is like going to the gym or like training for an athlete. It's the same thing for an artist. And I agree with that. It really is, you know, working on your like, working out your observation muscles and like exploring different like methods and skills of, you know, specifically figure, but like lots of other things as well. Yeah, it was sick. I definitely think that I would like to like keep doing courses and keep, you know, putting myself in these environments of like creativity and like focus and like being able to learn from others and, you know, whatever. It's just really joyous. So yeah, this is the end of the video and this is the time in which I will be thanking, guess who? Sorry, I'm trying to see, where should I put you guys? Because there's like these windows here, that's not great. Where should we go? I don't know if that's much better, but fuck it, weed ball, okay. Yeah, so an extra big shout out and thank you to my motherfucking patrons. Here they are, my fucking patrons. Let's go. We love patrons. They are the best. They give me money. They support me in what I'm doing, and so I can like focus on making art instead of trying to make more money. So yeah, thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like to join these beautiful, wonderful people up here, then consider taking a peek at my Patreon. I have 3 tiers. 2 of them are like kind of like chill. One's like a tip one. One's one where you get an extra video every month. I'm trying to think of ways to like make my feed more active and like creative and like do more shit for like my Patreon community specifically. And then I have a mail tier, which if you join that one, then you get a postcard and a sticker in the mail every single month. And this is the one that will be in your mailbox if you sign up within the month that this video comes out, which like I don't know if it'll be this month or the next month from what I am now, but yes, that's basically what it is. So yeah, if you like my videos, if you want to support me, this is the best way to do it. And yeah, thank you so much to my patrons. And that's all. My throat is dry. My tummy is empty. I got my rice on, so that's in the works. And yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of this Friday and give myself a pat on the back for this week of creating and exploring and being uncomfortable, but being so fucking stoked regardless. So yeah, thanks again. I will talk to you guys in a bit. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a great summer. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.